think it's actually a very good question to ask if you're a total surgeon. And I think the right question is not about is there a better, poly design or worse. It's about which constraint are we still worth paying for. So how do we make the choice between the different options, in our portfolio? And if you want to synthesize and to tell, what are the options, I think all of us, when we're doing surgery, we know that the constraint can come from different aspects, the ligaments for sure, the geometry, and also if you want to use a post-cam mechanism. So you have to choose between cruciate retaining, you work with the PCL, you have a low constraint in your implants, but you need a good soft tissue balance. Then you have the medial stabilized option, and Sachin is going to talk about it with the evolution of the medial ball and socket logic with a very stable knee medially, and you're aiming for restoring kinematic. Then you have the UC or CS, and again you have different option even in that category, but usually you can sacrifice the PCL. It's a very conforming design, but you don't have a post, very important, and it's more bone preserving on the femur aspect. I will show you why in a minute. And then the posterior stabilized, the post-cam mechanism, which is the legacy one. When you substitute the PCL with the cam post design, it's guiding the rollback inflection, which is very interesting, but it's adding some constraint. So why have we been using cam and post for a long time? Usually it's because we believe that the PCL was not reliable, and that was the main reason for that. And oops, sorry, maybe you can play this. Yeah, you can see here. So we can see how this post-cam is creating the rollback in a very predictable way, and we know that sacrificing the PCL was maybe easier when you're trying to manage gaps in difficult deformity or flexion contracture. The instrumentation was very familiar, so it was easy to use, and it was probably reassuring, for most of us, because we knew that even simple or complex case, we could use it. The problem is there is an additional box, and it's less preserving on the femur. It's a problem, especially for osteoporotic patients. Yes, there is a risk of wear of the post and eventually fracture. We know that the clunk, is very specific to that design. There are some constraints transferred to the polyethylene, so you need good poly quality. And the fixation interface could be also at risk. So, and also to be very, honest, there is no consistent, long-term superiority proven to this particular design compared to the other alternative. So the reason is, the summary, it's useful, but there are a little bit, of downsides to use it. These are examples of cases where the surgeon used the post-cam and had to pay a very high price for it. You can see here, trying to restore the native, anatomy, maintaining some varus on the tibia. This is definitely not, something you should do when you use post-cam, and you can see that the loosening can occur quite early due to the constraint, additional constraint between the femur box and the tibia. And also, of course, the classic periprosthetic fracture in the small patient with osteoporotic bone starting on, on the box of the femur. So these are the two situations that you are definitely related to that particular design. So why in 2026 is it, different from 10 years ago? Because now you have new information. You have UC condylar stabilizing, design, medial stabilized design. So it's a different way to create stability. You rely on the conformity, you rely on the medial stability, and Sachin will have more time to develop that, in a minute. And also, when you look in registry data, and now you have a lot of good, long-term data from registry, you can see that the reality is the post-cam, design is losing interest in many countries, and you can see that the superiority of the post-cam to the other, more recent design is definitely not demonstrated. So there might be probably now some evidence to consider that post-cam is not the automatic answer, but is one answer that you can choose, but not consistently. But these are cases where, honestly, in my practice, it's difficult to consider using something else, because difficult to know how do you handle the slope here. It's post-traumatic, it's post-high tibial osteotomy, and probably going for something where you can, reliably, balance the knee is maybe easier than using some, less constraint design. If you look at the evidence, you have a couple of comparative studies trying to see if PS is superior, to ultra-congruent, cruciate retaining, medial stabilize. And honestly, overall, if you look at all this evidence, You know, it's showing that, you know, adding the post-cam constraint every time is not, you know, proven to be the right way to do, and trying to go for least constraint implant is probably, you know, the way to consider doing total knee today. So I think we're moving away from a systematic approach. It's going to be true for alignment, it's true for PS, for design, and post-cam is just one answer. But sometimes it's useful. I can show you this case where we went for a CS without PCL, and you can see that this is creating gross instability in flexion. So this is where probably a PS design is much better if your PCL is insufficient, and you should, you know, keep it in your portfolio. So there is still a role for, you know, a cam and post, as I tried to show you, when the PCL is incompetent with the flexion instability or severe deformity is there when you are in a, you know, complex primary situation, or your experience is more in PS, you don't feel comfortable going away from that, there is nothing wrong, you know, just our other options. Just to stay on time, so today I think, you know, cam and post still have a role, so it's still part of the portfolio, but I don't think today we should use it routinely. You have other options that are, I think, very reproducible and interesting if you can balance your knee or adapt, you know, your alignment philosophy. You can keep the PS post-cam for unreliable PCL, difficult flexion space, unstable knee. And the winning strategy is probably not, you know, about the mechanism, it's about getting the right stability and using the less necessary constraints. Thank you very much again.